The Lokavipatti Sutta, also known as the Failings of the World and cited as Anguttara Nikaya, continues to be a vital teaching on maintaining equanimity amidst life's inevitable ups and downs. The discourse originated when the Buddha addressed his monks to explain the 8 worldly conditions, often called the 8 worldly winds, that spin after the world: gain and loss, status and disgrace, censure and praise, and pleasure and pain. The background story centers on the Buddha's observation that both uninstructed, run-of-the-mill people and well-instructed noble disciples encounter these 8 conditions, yet their reactions differ fundamentally. While the ordinary person becomes obsessed by these winds, welcoming the pleasant and rebelling against the painful, the noble disciple reflects on their impermanent and stressful nature, remaining unconsumed by them. By understanding these conditions as inconstant and subject to change, the wise practitioner abandons both attraction and aversion, ultimately finding release from suffering and the cycle of rebirth. This sutta serves as a powerful reminder that while we cannot control the weather of life, we can control how we anchor ourselves against its shifting winds. Now, let's listen to the sutta. Monks, these 8 worldly conditions spin after the world, and the world spins after these 8 worldly conditions. Which 8? Gain, loss, status, disgrace, censure, praise, pleasure, and pain. These are the 8 worldly conditions that spin after the world, and the world spins after these 8 worldly conditions. For an uninstructed run-of-the-mill person, there arise gain, loss, status, disgrace, censure, praise, pleasure, and pain. For a well-instructed disciple of the noble ones, there also arise gain, loss, status, disgrace, censure, praise, pleasure, and pain. So what difference, what distinction, what distinguishing factor is there between the well-instructed disciple of the noble ones and the uninstructed run-of-the-mill person? The Blessed One said, gain arises for an uninstructed run-of-the-mill person. He does not reflect, gain has arisen for me. It is inconstant, stressful, and subject to change. He does not discern it as it actually is. Loss arises, status arises, disgrace arises, censure arises, praise arises, pleasure arises, pain arises. He does not reflect, pain has arisen for me. It is inconstant, stressful, and subject to change. He does not discern it as it actually is. His mind remains consumed with the gain. His mind remains consumed with the loss, with the status, the grace, the censure, the praise, the pleasure. His mind remains consumed with the pain. He welcomes the risen gain and rebels against the risen loss. He welcomes the risen status and rebels against the risen disgrace. He welcomes the risen praise and rebels against the risen censure. He welcomes the risen pleasure and rebels against the risen pain. As he is thus engaged in welcoming and rebelling, he is not released from birth, aging, or death, from sorrows, lamentations, pains, distresses, or despairs. He is not released, I tell you, from suffering and stress. Now, gain arises for a well-instructed disciple of the noble ones. He reflects, gain has arisen for me. It is inconstant, stressful, and subject to change. He discerns it as it actually is. Loss arises, status arises, disgrace arises, censure arises, praise arises, pleasure arises, pain arises. He reflects, pain has arisen for me. It is inconstant, stressful, and subject to change. He discerns it as it actually is. His mind does not remain consumed with the gain. His mind does not remain consumed with the loss, with the status, the disgrace, the censure, the praise, the pleasure. His mind does not remain consumed with the pain. He does not welcome the arisen gain or rebel against the arisen loss. He does not welcome the arisen status or rebel against the arisen disgrace. He does not welcome the arisen praise or rebel against the arisen censure. He does not welcome the arisen pleasure or rebel against the arisen pain. As he thus abandons welcoming and rebelling, he is released from birth, aging, and death, from sorrows, lamentations, pains, distresses, and despairs. He is released, I tell you, from suffering and stress. This is the difference, this the distinction, this the distinguishing factor between the well-instructed disciple of the noble ones and the uninstructed run-of-the-mill person. Gain or loss, status or disgrace, censure or praise, pleasure or pain, these conditions among human beings are inconstant, impermanent, and subject to change. Knowing this, the wise person, mindful, ponders these changing conditions. Desirable things don't charm the mind. Undesirable ones bring no resistance. His welcoming and rebelling are scattered, gone to their end, do not exist. Knowing the dustless, sorrowless state, he discerns rightly, has gone, beyond becoming, to the further shore.